let's continue to add some thickness to the panels on the side of our car by looking at the door and the back two panels. Okay, so we've got these two guys taken care of. For this, we just need to add some edge resolution coming in. And an easy way to do this, and we're going to utilize it in here too, is just to grab these faces rather than trying to select all those edges and just extrude those faces. Just extrude that, and just slightly to match up. If we want to, we can extrude again. And then before you're done, just delete those faces. Now we might have a little bit of cleanup to do. If I go ahead and just isolate this door, you're going to have some cleanup on the corners to take care of. It's not a big problem. Just want to grab these guys and sort of just space them out a little bit. Got a little bit tangled up. There we go. Just move those corner pieces out, and we're just kind of smoothing them out just slightly. There we go. I'll take care of that. And there should be one more over here. That's going to be a problem. Just scoot this down. Move this up. There we go. And if we take that off and let's check it by converting that, and let's convert this guy. So we've got a little bit of a gap down here. Let's go ahead and grab these guys and just move them down a little bit. And it looks like we need to move our piece here in just slightly, just so we don't get that big of a gap. We definitely want to see that seam there, but we don't want it to have a huge gap. If we look at this guy right here, looks like it's not matching up perfectly because of this issue down here. We'll go back and check on that in a little bit. Right now we're more concerned about these panels, so we're going to work on this panel. And this panel could be a little bit tricky also if you try to use the edges, because you're going to try to extrude those edges in, and then we can try to merge with these. But the easiest way really is to just get rid of these guys. Let's show you this. Those are the faces we already have on the interior here. Just blow those away. And now select all those faces and just extrude that. I'm going to extrude in Z using the existing, the ones as a template, so they match up again. I'm going to just match these up right here. Repeat that. Move it in again. So that way, you're getting your wheel well back to where it was, and you're also getting these edges extruded as well. And now it looks like I forgot to extrude again. When we get to this edge, we need to stop, and we need to extrude one more time. Okay. Go ahead and extrude that. And that will give us that extra edge that we need in there. And when we get to this point, you can just delete those faces if you want. And let's go ahead and smooth that and see how it looks alongside this guy. Actually looks pretty good. The only thing we might want to do is add a little bit of sharpness here so this is not so doughy right at this corner where this meets. So we can do that by just probably want to go ahead and add one right here. And let's go ahead and subdue that again. See, that looks a little bit better. If we want to, we can go ahead and tweak those out just a little bit. If you want to, you can add a little bit more resolution here and kind of get that curve built up. Let's see what we've got here. We can go ahead. It's not going to change things too much because this is straight. This is pretty straight. So we can go in here, and if we want to add another edge and then kind of use this edge to tweak things a little bit. So we get a nice, real nice transition there between these two panels. Okay. Go into our side view, you can see it a little bit better. And just kind of match things up a little. Scale those in. You can tighten that edge up if you want. Even maybe move it over slightly. So we get a nice piece there that kind of fits together. Turn off our wireframe. You can see that that piece looks nice there. And you're still getting that detail we put in there. You can see right here, it's pretty subtle. But if you look, we've got an edge there because of that edge we've added. This is what we've been talking about, being careful of dents and creases and stuff. So we go ahead and convert that back. You can see that's caused by this edge that we added right here. So we can fix that. I'm going to just go in here and actually I'm going to start by, this is where we really need the geometry. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw that out to where we want it. And then delete these guys. Forget that vertex there. And then I'll go ahead and delete this whole edge. And then I'll just add an edge in the middle. And connect that. And the spacing that we did there should help eliminate that crease that we were able to see. And if you can see it now, you can see we've got a little problem there. If you can see it now with just a Lambert on here, when you get a nice shiny car paint on here, those dents and stuff are really going to show up. So even if you can't see it, or if it's subtle now, it might even be a good idea to go ahead and put like a blend on your model while you're working on it, just so those become more apparent. And I'll just finish that off. I'm just kind of cleaning this up back here. And let's try it again. See if that dent's still there. Might be a little bit of something right here. It's pretty subtle still, but we might want to go ahead and space these out just to be on the safe side. And do that along the normal. Just space those out a little bit. That should look better. So now what we need to do is we just have one last piece. Take care of back here, this guy. And I think we can probably do him the same way we did the last one, and that is to get rid of these edges right here. And just select all those faces and extrude those in, and then just match it up right here. You can remember it's about there, and then another extrude straight over. All right. And let's see how that smooths out. Okay, you can see we've got a few problems. We've got this guy sticking off here. It's not really matching up. So we need to sharpen both of these edges up. You can see we've got a little crease going on right here, which is not something we want. And this edge, these edges are a little bit too doughy, so let's address those issues right now. And this we can address by adding an edge right there. It's going to sharpen that edge up. And Let's go ahead and look at this guy. See if we can sharpen him up a little bit too. Yeah, it looks like if we add an edge right here, and then I just want to get rid of this guy. Add an edge right here. Let's turn on wireframe so we can see what we're doing. It would be nice. And if I get my tool here, my insert edge loop tool, looks like I might have some vertices there I need to get rid of. Okay, now I'm going to add that right where I want it so that those corners are nice and tight. And I'm just going to complete that edge, and then just grab this edges that I don't want and delete those. So I'm just, same thing I was doing before. I'm just moving those edges around, redrawing so that they're spaced out up here and nice and tight down here. Okay. All right, so this guy needs to be spaced out a little bit because we don't want to have this kind of crease back here. So I'm just going to go down and space him out a little bit. These guys too. Push this in slightly, just so we have something nice and a nice curve back there. Now for this, we need to go ahead and add an edge right here along the side here. And then we can go in and space things out, just like we've been doing, just so we don't get any unwanted creasing. Right there. Space this out. Just get it in, until you get it to where it's smooth. You can check it every once in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and convert that. And let's go ahead and convert this guy. Well, that's looking a lot better. Let's go ahead and take that wireframe off. Oh, we've got a nice tight edge. Looks like we forgot to delete our faces back here. We'll take care of that. But it looks like we've got a nice tight edge there, up and over here. Looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and just, as the last thing here, we can delete these faces. If you select the face in the middle and you shift greater than sign over above your period, so shift period, you can add to your selection. So that doesn't give you exactly what you want, but it's a quick way to get a little bit more options here. You can also go up to select tool, and you can do the paint selection tool, and right click on faces, and I can use a brush. I can size my brush up by hitting B, and then I can actually paint a selection rather than going through and selecting. So there's a bunch of different options in Maya of how to select things, and these are just a couple. So I'm going to go into wireframe just to make sure. The ideal place to do this would be right after you extruded those, just to delete those. Here we go. And now just subdue that again. And that's looking a lot better. All right, so now we've got our panels. We've got some thickness added to all the panels that we've cut up. Go ahead and just subdue this and see how everything fits together. You can see it's fitting together pretty nicely. So we've got all that thickness added. So in the next lesson, let's take a look here. We're going to go in and start drawing out and extruding the scoops on the front here, on the side of the front.